Hey there, Justice Egan here, and I want to welcome you to this recording where I am going to share with you a wake-up call I did where I discussed how anyone can get bigger results in any marketing strategy online by following these steps. If you enjoy this training and you'd like more like it, feel free to head over to justiceegan.com where you can grab my latest course, Online Recruiting Mastery. Go ahead and enjoy today's recording.
Live the Dream 7 speaker, L4 Rockstar MC member, Justice Egan. Good morning, my Jersey friend. What's up?
Nothing. Excited to be on here. Excited about tonight's webinar. Excited for Live the Dream. Excited to hang with you. Me and you are gonna have some beers out in the Dominican soon enough, right? I mean, lots of great stuff on the horizon. And I've got I just love the very I love what you talked about coming into today's call because it's going to be super congruent with what we talk about here, the content I have. So I'm ready to rock.
Right on, man. Call is yours, dude. Love you. Talk soon.
Sounds good, bud. Guys, welcome. As Bri mentioned, this community is on fire here at MLSP. Growing like crazy. We've got lots of people that have been around the campfire for years, learning how to grow their online businesses, learning how to grow their network marketing businesses, learning how to brand themselves and market themselves and get out there and generate leads, right? Attract the right prospects to us versus spending our time out there chasing people who don't really want to hear what we have to say, right? This system can help you create leverage. And, that's just one of that's just part of what makes it so special. But if you are here and you are new, like Bri said, you're in the right place. Today's call is going to be very, very valuable to you. If you are on here and you've been at this for a while and you don't quite have the results you're looking for, today's call is going to hopefully blow you away. Because what I want to talk about here is how to increase results fast in any marketing strategy. Doesn't matter what your marketing strategy is. When we're done with this call, my goal is to have you understand how you can increase your results regardless of the marketing strategy. You see, because here's what I want everybody to understand. Bri talked about kind of rewiring ourselves, right? Changing the conversation we're having, changing the language, changing what's going on inside between our ears. Because while My Lead System Pro is an incredible solution, it is not the easy button. There is no easy button out there. So, you have to understand you truly are the variable. People before you have proven that the training and the system and the tools inside here can change everything for you. Now you've got to prove that you're ready to step up and change, right? Change your results, change your behavior, change your actions, change your mindset. One thing I attribute to this industry more than anything else. I've changed incredibly. I am a fundamentally different person than I was just 4 years ago when I found the home business industry. So, as we get into today's call, understand that getting results, getting leads is easy. Being an entrepreneur, hard, okay? That's a challenge. There's growth involved there. There's pain, there's struggle. Getting leads, easy. And when we're done with this call, you're going to understand exactly how easy it is. Because see, the biggest thing I see people ask all the time, what's the best strategy? Where do I start? Where do you think a person that knows this or doesn't know this, the story comes right into it. Where should I start? What's the fastest? I need leads fast. What's the fastest way to get leads? Guys, I want you to understand this question. It sounds so logical. It seems like such a logical place to begin, and it's not. All right, so see, tonight, for those of you who don't know, my buddy Adam is going to lay out a Twitter game plan. And Twitter's a strategy. It's just one strategy. It's a great one, right? But he's going to lay out a game plan that's showing people how to get crazy results. And here's what's going to happen. Brian knows this. At the end of the webinar, they're going to open up the little Q&A box. And a bulk of the questions are going to start being, where do I start? What's the best strategy? What do I do? What do I do first? I'm confused. I'm overwhelmed. All this different stuff. And I want you to understand that if you're thinking to yourself, well, Justice, that makes sense. Where do I start? What is the best strategy? I want you to understand that that question is a representation of avoidance. Now, it's all wrapped up and it's got a nice little bow on it. and it seems like a quest for knowledge, right? Seems logical. The only people who ask the question, where do I start, are people who haven't started yet. The only people that ask the question, well, what's the best strategy to start with or focus on, are people that aren't focusing or are afraid to choose wrong or afraid to make the mistake. They're frozen, they're stuck. Tonight at the end of this webinar, and it's going to be a great webinar, guys, you got to register, okay? When people come to the Q&A and they start asking those questions, they're going to say, well, what do I do? Where do I start? What's the best strategy? And I want to ask you a legitimate question. I want you to think about this. How can a person watch an entire webinar that educates them and tells them exactly what to do and then ask, what do I do? Well, they're avoiding action, afraid to take action, avoiding making mistakes. See, guys, unsuccessful people avoid problems and mistakes. Successful people solve problems. They pursue them. They create them. The more you do, the more problems you're going to create, the more mistakes you're going to make. So I want you to move out of the space of what's the best strategy, because there is no best strategy. There's only a best strategy for you. And truthfully, there's more than one. But what I'm going to talk with you on this call is about how to wrap your arms around something and actually go out and get results with it versus fall into the pitfalls that so many internet marketers fall into. So we're going to share some steps to increasing your results. I remember talking to Adam right before he started this Twitter thing. And tonight, his Twitter training, he's going to show you what he's done over the last basically about 120 days, a little more. And I talked to him and he said, I'm working on Twitter. That was what he said. Right. This was 4 months ago, 5 months ago. He said, Justice, I'm learning some things about Twitter right now. And I'm really putting my head down, and this is going to be my focus. I want to get this up. He had some lead gen goals. Now, I want you to understand that the first step for you to getting results with your internet marketing is a commitment. It's a commitment to a strategy, and it's a commitment to results with that strategy. See, results are really a product of just two things. Two things, guys. This simple. Skill development and massive action. Write that down. Results are a product of skill development and massive action. And, I hear people say, I'm overwhelmed, I'm confused, I don't know what to do, I got stuck, I don't know this. And I think, man, it is such a crazy, amazing time we live in. How could people be looking through these eyes? I mean, Brian talked about rewiring, changing that conversation. I saw something on Facebook the other day. I may have talked about this on a previous wake-up call. I'm not sure. I do all these different trainings, and I love bringing this stuff up, these stories up. But I saw this, this video on how a book used to be published. And here the guy is on this printing press. He's putting the little letters in by hand, and it's got 8 sheets, and he's got to ink up all then he's got to ink all the metal plates, and then he's got to press the sheets of paper. And then it gets folded and cut and, strung together. And, he's got a hammer out. And when all the pages are done, when all the pages are done, he's got, they put like the binding on and it's getting glued on and then sewed on. And he's hammering the thing. And he's, then he's putting a leather wrap around the book. And I thought to myself, all this work for one book, right? All this work for one single book, one single set of information. And now today, that was just a couple hundred years ago. And now today, we literally, every single one of you has access to more information right this second as we talk on this call. You have access to more information right now than the most educated, wealthy person did just 20 years ago. Possibly even 10. Think about that. Think about how powerful that is. So when it comes to, I don't know the answer, or I'm stuck, that's really impossible. That's really a choice, right? How could it not be a choice if every piece of information you could ever imagine is at your fingertips? Heck, how stuck would you have been 10 years ago or 20 years ago? How hard was it to accomplish? I mean, who would even like think about like what life was like before GPS? I mean, how did people even go out there and use maps and street like our life is easy, guys. You've got YouTube, it solves everything. So if you can just make a commitment to skill development and massive action and understand that the information you need to develop the skill is literally at your fingertips, how can you be stopped? The only one that can stop you is you. You see how that goes? The only one that can stop you is you. I was watching Shark Tank the other night, and I watched this guy come out. He built this machine that cleaned mattresses. I mean, it was a feat of engineering. And they said, "Are you an engineer?" And he said, "No." They said, "Really? What did you study?" And he said, "I have a degree in Google, Yahoo, and Bing." This guy built this incredible machine by leveraging the search engines. So right now, right here, if you want to get results in any strategy, you're going to completely eliminate the conversation that you don't know what to do, or that you're stuck, or that you're confused, or any of these things, because that's just saying, I don't want to go find the answer. I don't want to push through. I don't want to get the answer, even though it's free and it's at my fingertips somewhere. It's out there. See, what most people do, guys, is they move laterally in their business. They get online. The leaders tell them, hey, focus on a strategy. Grab one strategy, focus on that until you produce a result with it. And they go, okay, I'm going to do Instagram hypothetically, right? And they go and they try, they set up an Instagram account and they learn a couple things and they do a few things that they were told to do, and the results don't come in right away. And a couple weeks go by, and maybe they're probably not as consistent as they could have been. And the emails come in, right? They've connected with a few more people, and the emails come along, and the emails say, hey, learn how Adam tonight is getting 50 leads a day or 20 leads a day on Twitter. And they go, maybe Twitter's the answer. Everybody's looking for the secret, for the answer, right? Maybe Twitter's the answer. And they get on, and they learn a little bit about Twitter, and they go, that seems pretty cool. Tomorrow I'm going to do some Twitter stuff. And now they play around with Instagram a little bit, and they play around with Twitter a little bit. Nothing's got a commit. They haven't made a commitment to results with any of these. See, what the biggest mistake you can make is to try all this stuff out thinking that you're going to find the easiest way. I'll repeat that. The biggest mistake you can make is to try everything out thinking that you're going to find the easiest way. That, to me, is moving laterally in your business, and we want to move forward. So once you've committed to a strategy, not just saying, I'm going to be the Twitter person or I'm going to be the Instagram person, committing to the idea that, hey, I'm going to produce a result, and here's the goal result with this strategy. And all you need to know is that other people are producing that result. If there's other people producing a result with a strategy, that's fine. You're in. It can work for you. At that point, you have to have focus and discipline and shut out the noise. Here's what something I want you to understand, and you should write this down. Most people base their actions on ideas and excitement, and even sometimes emotions, fear, they avoid. So most people are basing their actions on ideas, on emotions of excitement or fear. If you want results, you should base 100% of your actions on the objective. So if you can commit to an objective, I'm going to achieve X with this strategy. Guys, it could be something so simple. 2 to 5 leads a day. Leads every day, whatever it is. Then you must base 100% of your activities on the objective at hand. You got to release that desire to want the answer, the secret, the easy button. There is no easy button. How about just get out there and do the work? Yeah, I have prospects and coaching clients and all that different stuff that I talk to. And it's like, hey, guess what? If you say you want to go get 5 leads a day on Twitter and you get on tonight's webinar and Adam shows you what to do, you're going to be one big step of the way there. And then what you've got to do is you've got to make a commitment to saying, you know what, I'm going to figure this Twitter thing out until I'm getting whatever your objective is, right? And then when you have that time of your day that you spend on social media activities, okay, or you spend on implementation, however you break your day up, that time needs to be focused on your objective. And what's your objective? It's to get X result on Twitter. That's it. Okay? And anytime you get stuck, anytime you don't understand Twitter, see, there are so many people out there that think they understand a platform. They don't. And if you're not getting big results on a platform, you don't understand that platform. And guess what you can do? You can go to Google and you can go to YouTube. And man, in a matter of a week, you could be 10 times the expert you are right now. If you weren't chasing every different strategy down the road, if you weren't diluting your time so much. Once you know it like the back of your hand and you're achieving a result, then spread your wings. Then add something else when it becomes habit. Okay, so the final key, if you really want to make this happen, and this works, guys, this applies to Twitter, to blogging, to Facebook, to paid ads, to anything. To anything. You know, it's wild. I watch people open all these different social media accounts and it's just set up. And, you know, well, I'm posting over here and I'm posting over there and I'm doing a little bit of blogging and I'm doing some of this. And it seems so crazy to me because they don't have a result yet. And I'm like, hey, I didn't have a Facebook fan page until I went full time. Why? Because I said, I'm going to figure this YouTube thing out. And guess what? The work I did 3 years ago, because I made a commitment to getting results and putting my head down, that work still pays me day after day after day. It still rakes in leads and rakes in sales. It's crazy. But what would have happened if I was trying to do everything? What would have happened if I was basing my activities on the excitement of a blog post I read, or a webinar I got on, or an email or a sales video? What would have happened if I was basing my activities on avoidance or fear, or the fact that I was stuck and didn't want to go to Google or YouTube and find the solution? You know, the last piece of the puzzle here is simply persistence. That's it. And if you don't have results in a strategy right now, and you've legit been working hard on that strategy, not just filling the day, being busy, then you've got to recognize something, and that is that people with results in their strategy, they either know something you don't know or they're doing something you're not doing. So it's your responsibility to figure out what it is. What do most people do? They throw their hands up and go, well, this doesn't work for me, or well, I tried that, or well, here's why I stopped. You know, I can't tell you how many people I've spoken to who say, yeah, I did that for a while. I tried this for a while. I did Instagram for a while. I tried blogging for a while, for a little bit, but then I quit. Why? Why'd you quit? Well, you know, I just really want results. I'm not a patient person. I want results. Guys, patience is such a funny thing, right? It's so important. You have to have patience. You have to push forward, and have belief before results based on what you've seen other people achieve. And understand that if you've pushed forward for a reasonable period of time and legitimately worked hard, that there's something you're missing. You need to know something else or do something else in that strategy. And you got to go figure out what it is. Right? Watch people, model people that are getting results in that strategy. Google, learn the ins and outs of that platform. Interestingly, the least patient people take the longest to get results. In actuality, I like to say those are the most patient people. Right? Because if that's you, right, wouldn't that be a reason to do more at that moment, not less? Why people quit on the idea, well, I tried that for X long and I just, I didn't see results with it, so. I've had people tell me, well, I'm not very patient. That's why I stopped doing it. I said, you sound really patient to me. because you've quit on strategies 4 or 5 different times. You still don't have results. It takes a lot of patience to work at this for this long without results. Who's not patient now? What's the benefit of not being patient? If you really commit and you really focus and you really dial it in, and if you let something like impatience drive you to do more and hustle, guys, you'll get results in a strategy. Everybody on this call, if you do that, you will. Results are easy. Being an entrepreneur is hard. Being persistent, committing without results already, having the discipline to shut everything else out, having the discipline to handle the naysayers and the voices that pop up in your head that said, maybe I should be doing something else, having the discipline to put down the video or the email or the blog that's taking the time out of your day and convincing you that you should be working on something else, having the discipline to base 100% of your activities on the objective, not on ideas and excitement and fear. That's hard. That's what being an entrepreneur is all about. Okay? Shutting that voice off in your head, getting your head right, getting results online, the how-to, the points and clicks, that's easy. You are a couple of Google searches away. 2 weeks of you spending a couple hours a day on a platform. I want you to think about this. 2 weeks, 14 days. Now, if your head goes to the place of, what about Saturdays and Sundays, Justice? Of course you do. If you really want results, 2 weeks. If you spend 2 hours a day putting real work into a platform, whether it be Twitter, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, your blog, whatever, and you learned, you went and learned every nook and cranny, and you applied, and you hustled, and you shut out all the other noise. I mean, if I spend 2 hours a day on Twitter, which Adam will teach you tonight, what he does takes him 10, 15 minutes a day. But if I spend 2 hours a day learning about Twitter for the next 2 weeks, do you know what a Twitter expert I'd be? Be insane. I'd know more than 99 point some odd % of the population. Because there's focus there. That's easy, guys. That's the easy part. There's a bazillion videos and free ebooks and info, and you go in the back office of MLSP. How many people have done this? How many people have gone in the back office of MLSP and said, you know what? I'm focusing on YouTube right now, so here's what I'm going to do for the next 3 weeks or a month. I'm going every day. I'm going to watch a training on YouTube because I've got access to the vault if I'm a mastery member, and all I'm going to watch is YouTube stuff. And every time I watch it, I'm going to go apply. I'm going to go apply it right away. And every day I'm going to do a video. And every day I'm going to engage with my YouTube subscribers. And every day I'm going to learn a little bit more and I'm going to apply a little bit more about YouTube. Nobody does that. They're like, oh, YouTube seems cool because they get an idea or they're excited. They watch a little bit. They go put a few YouTube videos up. And then you're like scattered off to the next thing. Let me try this over here. Oh, they said Twitter. They said Instagram. Guys, this is so simple. It's so simple. No one can withhold information from you. You have everything you need. You've got every tool. You've got every piece of training. It shows you every point, every click. And if there's something that you don't have inside MLSP or you can't find, you are one search away. Somebody is going to give you the answer. So now it's on you. Plain and simple. You're the X factor, like Brian said coming into this call. Are you going to commit to results in a strategy? Are you going to create the focus and discipline to shut out the noise and base 100% of your activities on the objective at hand? And are you going to be persistent? I mean, unreasonably persistent. Unreasonably persistent until you make it happen. And the more you work on it and the more persistent you are and the harder you work on it, the faster those results are going to come. It's in your hands. Guys, if you're ready to apply what I taught you here to a strategy and you don't know where to start or you're ready to embrace something, I'm going to highly, highly, highly encourage you to get on tonight's webinar. Do not miss it. I know what Adam's doing. I've started implementing it in my business. It's already getting me leads daily. Why? Because I did it every day. Okay. The people in our most recent class that learned it and did it are getting insane results. Why? Because they did it every day for 45 days. So if you're willing to make that commitment, then what you see tonight can change the face of your business. So guys, I'm going to go over to the My Lead System Pro fan page. All right. I want to see you guys over there. Would love to know your biggest takeaway. If you want to get there, it's mlspfanclub.com. I'll see you over there. Let's get out there and rock it.